Hello, everybody. Welcome to another ZoukCast episode. This episode we have a beautiful Olaya. But first, let me say hi to my friend and co-host Nymph. How you doing, Nymph?
Hey, I'm okay. I'm good, pretty good today.
Nice.
Yes, how are you?
Good too. We are outside of our usual time frame.
Hmm.
We're on Thursday, so I have to go to have a dinner with my mom later.
Ah,
Uh,
nice.
that's good, of course. But everything else is good also. So, Olaya, how you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Fine. It's really weird for me to talk to you in English
I
because
know.
we,
It's cool.
we share the parties on Sundays and we see each other often. So it's not so usual for us to be speaking English.
But we're gonna do that from now.
Yeah. It's good to practice always, right?
It is.
So, Olaya, uh, we wanted to have some representative of the other side, like the Lambazouk side of the scene, because Nymph and me, we are more from the what we call Brazilian Zouk, but that's a tricky categorization because some people consider Lambazouk as Brazilian Zouk, some other they don't. So we call this episode like a Lamba for one side and Rio style derived or derived styles, like all the styles that came from Rio,
Yes.
opposed as the Lambazouk that came from Porto Seguro, more or less. So there's this thing going on the scene, this conversation that it's taking place about whether Lambazouk and all the Rio styles are still the same dance or they are drifting so far apart that they are starting to be different dances. And it's not only because of the dance, but also the music and the attitude and the shows. They are quite different, but there are some similarities also. So, what's your take? What's your opinion?
Well, first of all, this conversation, this thing of is it now that we should separate? This thing has been going on for years and years and years. It's the same conversation always. But for me, it's the same answer. It's the same dance. For me, it's the same dance. It's different techniques and different styles, yes, but even within the Rio descendants, there are also many different styles that are very far apart. So, of course, if somebody, for example, is dancing more pure Rio Zouk and looks at somebody who is dancing Neo Zouk, and doesn't know, never seen that, and doesn't know the technique, is gonna feel that it's very, very far apart. So the thing is that a lot of Zouk teachers, they mix more and more the some techniques of different Rio descendants. So some of them look more similar because they mix them and then students get to learn them, so they use them, so it's like, it's all one, but it's not true also. You will find out that a lot of students that, most of the students that think that is the ones that cannot dance Lambazouk. But some of the students that can dance several different kind of Zouk and also Lambazouk will answer that it's the same dance. You can, everything you can do it in a radical way, like you can dance a Lambazouk in a very fast song, only doing cambres and bonecas, but you can also dance a Lambazouk in a modern song with not so many bonecas or head movements. So it depends how radical you want to go, also with the teachers and with the students.
Yeah, but there's this feeling that people from the Rio style have about the dancers from the Lamba style. Like they only want to dance mid to fast, songs. They don't want to dance the slower songs or even the lyrical ones without the beat and everything. And that creates like sort of tension during the parties. Like for example, in episode 12 here in ZoukCast, we talked with a guy that he was complaining a lot about the music on the Dutch Congress because he was missing like the Lamba style. But actually, the Lamba style is not a musical style. It's just a dance, and then the music you dance Lamba on can be used to dance Zouk also. So what's the problem there?
Some of the people that dance Lambazouk like a lot the more, because it's true that Lambazouk has, one of the differences of Lambazouk is that it has this like happy feeling.
Yeah.
And this is one of the most things that different from other styles of Zouk. This is one of the things that I think most people can feel and that is more obvious. And so this happy feeling, sometimes it goes with fast music.
Yeah.
But it's not that other styles don't use fast music, because there's like, for example, Mafi Zucker, who is a very, very well-known DJ and remixer, and Nick, they have several musics who are very fast. Like Zouk people use music who is very fast, but not so often, maybe in less portion.
Yeah.
So in Lambazouk, dancing fast is difficult. The same way, I mean, you have to be an advanced student to be able to dance fast music. So what normally is medium kind of music, I find for Zouk students it's the same. It's difficult to dance with fast and it's difficult to dance with slow, but the most experienced people like to create with slow or no beat music.
Yeah.
And that is very difficult for students, but most advanced people like. This is also one of the differences. For us, it's not that people of Lambazouk need beat, because really all the music have a beat, whether you can hear them or not. But because we work so much with this not stopping of the basic step, then if you don't have a beat, it's like it doesn't make so much sense. So again, if you have a party and 80% of the music is no beat, then for a Lambazouk person is like strange. The same way that if the 80% of the music is super fast, for any other kind of people of like Neo-Zouk or Soul-Zouk or whatever, it's gonna be also maybe too much. But this is also like the thought of okay, we're gonna have a party with 80% of the music, no beat. I find also for Zoukers that is difficult. If there's a party only experienced Zoukers, then okay. But if not, that also doesn't work.
Yeah.
So balance is the key.
Yeah, imbalance is always the good thing, and also I enjoy a lot fast song, and I can also do this Lambazouk energy, as well as you can dance on the Zouk side, because for me you are one of my favorite dancers for practicing my Zouk, because you follow everything. So yeah, that's the thing. Usually I tend to think that Lambazouk and all the Rio styles are starting to be different scenes, not different dances, but different scenes. But then when I find somebody like you, I see again the common nexus, you know?
I understand. Yeah, it's because I think like one thing is teaching and the scene that you want to create as a teacher, and the different thing is the people and the parties and the social part of it. So for me, I teach Lambazouk for certain reasons, but on the other side, I don't teach pure Lambazouk. I teach my students to dance with other students too. So I teach also some like tools that they can use to dance with other kind of Zoukers, because the point of starting to dance is social point. And the good thing of Zouk is that we have many styles. Some are very far apart, and some are more similar, and some things is more radical or less radical. But the cool thing is that we have a big amount of music and big amount of movements that is this Lambazouk or is this Rio-Zouk or is this, sometimes you cannot say. And that's the cool thing that you can mix. For example, in salsa, this is not possible. Either it's LA or it's Cuban salsa, no? And this is one of the good things. So, of course, I like that my students, and I like to dance Lambazouk. I like fast songs, but I like to dance. I like to dance also slow songs, and I like to investigate and create other things. So I'm not close-minded like, oh, Lambazouk is the best and the rest suck. And this is what sometimes Lambazouk people feel that other Zoukers think about Lambazouk.
Okay, let me tell you about a story that I have from when I was a young student. Young in terms of Zouk, not in terms of my age, because I started to dance like very old. But so I was in a congress. Actually, it was the Danza Brazil Congress back in 2006, if I remember correctly. So I was dancing for 1 year at that moment, and actually the M Zouk then was called Lambazouk, and the Lambazouk was called Lambada.
Yes.
You know? So
Remember that?
we changed the names one for them. So, but actually I was dancing M Zouk, what it's now called M Zouk. But also at the time we danced with very fast songs. There was not these remixes, or they were not so famous at the time. So we were used to dance fast, but we were already moving toward a more slow style. Okay. So I had this lady dancing with me in my school. She's Laura. She stopped dancing now, but she was my first dance partner. And we were dancing on the party, and we were so happy. And then suddenly she came with a long face to me, like, you know what? This guy told me that I cannot dance with him because this song is too fast for my style. Okay, so this guy was a really big name. I won't name the guy, but he has a musical based on his life, right? So you know what it is. Okay, so this guy said no because and actually at the moment they had this conflict going on still with spiral dance and the Lambada people, because there's always this tension since I started dancing. So what I did is the next song that was fast, like the fastest song in my life, I got the lady and I started to dance just in front of the guy, like really, really fast, doing everything, all the tricky things that I knew. And finally, the guy got the lady from me during the song to dance with her. And he didn't realize it was the same girl that he said no until he was dancing with her, you know? So it's not only the Zouk people towards the Lambazouk people, but the other way around.
True.
So there's always this conflict going on, and we have this group of teachers in WhatsApp in Barcelona, where you and me we are, and these kind of conflicts arise from time to time, right? Between the Lamba side and the other side, while some of us stay in the middle, like what's happening here, you know?
True.
I don't know if NIMF had the same problem there in Holland.
For sure.
Yeah, it's the
I
same.
have thought several times about this question, about different kinds of teachers and their way of being and what they think and how they create the scene, how the students think like them or not, and all this thing, because I'm a bit of a nerd, I like this thing. So I've been thinking a long time. And I get to the conclusion like we are talking until now, we're talking about the dance, the styles, the technique, the scene, the music, and now you're starting to talk about certain people. And then my question is, the the dance is the dance because we dance it. So wait a bit, I'm gonna be a bit philosophical, okay?
Yeah.
Wait for it. Like people make the dance. The dance is something like there, but we create it. So if like I am not the Lambazouk movement, I am me. I have a thought and I have an idea, and I try to create ideals. But there's other people that have their own ideas and create those ideas, and those ideas are the ones to make reality. So I think the dances will go apart if people make them go apart. For me, I dance all the styles and I see the points that are different and also between the Zouk styles,
Mhm.
the Rio Zouk styles, and I see the points that are so much between. I also see the points that look different but really are the same or very similar, although the style or the topping, the feeling is different. So until what point the dance is defined by the people who dance it?
I think that the problem is that the dance is defined by the influencers or the opinion creators. So you, for example, you're an influencer because you have such a following, and me, I'm also a small influencer because I had my students and now have my group like Su Devils, and actually I have ZoukCast, and this is also some kind of influence that we are creating on people by touching some subjects or not touching them or the way we touch them. So, but this
True,
happens in all the things in life, not only on dance.
yes, but I find that there are, of course, there are like influence people that have separate ideas or they are more flexible. But in my experience, as my students that I find there are several or more than I thought, more students than I thought that have more radical ideas than myself, even my students. You know, I get to my, some of them, they think like, oh no, sometimes in my playlist, and some slow song comes up, and I don't want it for the class because I'm practicing some moves and I want the same kind of, and they're like, oh no, this not because I'm like, hey guys, no, well, we're not gonna listen to this song. Why are you, no, I think that I don't transmit this thoughts to them, but they are more radical than me.
Yeah, we have
So,
this in Spanish nymph. We have this saying that is called "ser más papista que el papa," and
Okay.
it's like saying you are more believer in God than the Pope. You know, like you believe more in God than the Pope, the same Pope. You know, so that's a little bit what Olaya is saying. Like you have one opinion as a teacher or
Yeah.
influencer, but
Hmm.
that your students get more radical on that opinion.
Ah, yeah.
So, do you think that the teachers, NIMF, should be very careful on the way they're communicating their own ideas, or the way they talking about other styles, other teachers,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
it's a matter
it's no,
of
the teachers has
just
to be
let them
more
interpret? No?
careful about this because it's basically it's all dance and we don't have to fight with each other because students are learning from the teacher, and when the teachers are fighting with each other, the students will also go in the same direction. And it's not our goal to fight with other dancers, but it's our goal to teach them dancing and the best for the student. So the best for the student is also to learn them not to fight with other dancers but dance together.
Yeah. So talking about this experience that I have with you, Olaya, where we dance together, and for me it's amazing. Should we
should we dance?
teachers should we dance more, but not you and me? I mean, teachers from opposed styles. Should we dance more together in front of the crowd so they see? that we are still the same dance and that we share the same
Yes,
thing?
please. Yes, please. This is, of course, that's my like.
Because
Sometimes,
I feel like even the teachers are separated on the parties, you know, like only they only dance with the same style teachers.
oh no, for me, I have my list. I want to dance with all of them, and I want to dance with the students I know, and I want to dance with the students I don't know when I go to a congress, for example. But several times in the Sunday party that we have together, it happened that I was going home, I have to say, oh wait, I haven't danced with Javi yet. I need to dance with him, or things like that. For me, it's not only we should do it, but I think it's necessary because it's also for our own growth. Because putting a bit of in a mind of a teacher, if I only dance with my own partner and I only dance with my students, professionally, I think it's wrong because I cannot develop myself as a dancer and I cannot keep growing as a dancer, so I cannot keep giving more information and better information for my students. So each time we are dancing, or not only we, but doesn't matter, same style, different style, whatever, I also learn because it's in that same level of myself or even more level than me. So I am learning at the same time that I am dancing. So
There's a question from Sina. Um, if you dance with other people, do you also create your own technique and movements in your Lambada Zouk? Or is it pure Lambada Zouk that you are dancing?
uh, there's this thing that sometimes they've asked me. I
Mhm.
think it's similar question. Like, in Lambazouk you only have like 5 moves and you're all the time doing the same 5 moves. And I'm like,
Mhm.
what? Uh, this thing is typical for from somebody that doesn't know the dance. If somebody that doesn't know Zouk watches Zouk, is gonna say the same. It's only body roll, bonus, and crazy things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
of course we can. Yes, and I can like there's different kinds of teachers that come up with new moves, and for us it's like, oh my god, each time we see something different is very crazy for us. We and Papagayo especially, he wants to know everything. He wants to know all the moves, not only the Lambazouk moves, but the Zouk moves, and it's growing more and more. And even uh, in different paths. So Lambazouk, people think it's a big block, but that's not true. In Lambazouk, there are different styles and different techniques, but we just don't separate all Lambazouk. But to give an example, Pablo Schmoller from Argentina with Leticia, and Leo Gomez and Ana Paula, who were in Barcelona 1 month ago, totally different kinds of Lambazouk. Like the energy they have, the the techniques they use for the spinning, some of the communication they have with the partners, some of the connection is different, the flow is different, even the way they work with the basic steps. So yes, we can create in Lambazouk too.
Okay, but do me a favor and don't start to name the styles of Lambazouk too, because I have enough names on my head now, and I'm happy to call everything Lambazouk now.
Yes.
I don't need to like Neo Lambazouk or you know what I mean.
True, and that's what we would like for Zouk too. We would like just call it Zouk, because just call it Brazilian Zouk, because Zouk is already something. No, just call it Brazilian Zouk. It's too much. Just show me what you're doing. I don't call it like, no, this is La Yolamba or La Yolamba Zouk. No, it's not. Doesn't work.
Okay, but
Another
then
question.
yeah,
Like
go ahead.
in the M-Zouk or style Zouk, we also use elements from contact improvisation.
Mhm.
And like in Lambazouk, because it's a question, in Lambazouk, I know because the music is fast, it's difficult to implement this contact improvisation stuff. But do you think if they start dancing on slower music, if it's possible to fuse Lambada or Lambazouk with contact improvisation or other dances?
Yes, it's true the Lambazouk doesn't use the contact improvisation,
Hmm.
but everything is mixable. Everything is mixable. In the moment that I am feeling a connection of the guy, of he is maintaining his basic step, he's up with his posture, and he's leading me, then I am following the same thing. In the moment, and we can do that in Sundays. In the moment that you hug me and then you start, I will go. I should
Yeah,
go.
nice. Yeah.
I am following. If I don't go, then I'm wrong. This is also a problem, no, with this thing. Sometimes it's uh, if the guy goes for Lambazouk and then he goes into no, it's wrong. Wait a minute, it's wrong. Where's the judges? Well, what is it's Zouk and it's social dancing.
Yeah.
And sorry, the guy leads and the lady follows. And if the lady doesn't want to follow, she should start learning how to lead, and
Yeah.
then he will lead.
Okay, but let's talk about the judges because what one of the things is if we want to keep the roots still there, we need some people sticking to the root style in order to not lose the essence. You know, like there's this rule or these degrees that we go from lamba to the other style, but there all these positions in the middle that we try to fill when we dance together. But then we need this guy here and this other guy here to define the roots of each style. So how do we compatibilize this with the mixing on the social dance and with not being aggressive towards each other and don't attack each other's style, but keep the root and still being able to travel from one point to the other?
Good question. I think professional or influential people, teachers, I think they define themselves as one thing or the other, depending on what they want to be called or what they whatever. So it's clear that some teachers are pure Lambazouk, some teachers are pure this, pure that. For my point of view, they should all learn how to dance this or that, different thing. But that doesn't mean that they teach it. For example, I mean, I call myself not pure Lambazouk. I try to teach my students the Lambazouk technique, but also other things. But in a congress, I am invited as a Lambazouk teacher. So my classes are pure Lambazouk. This is what I mean because it's the I understand they want to get to know the Lambazouk. So that is what I do. The same point if somebody gives Neozouk or whatever. Uh, then different thing is a social dance. For me, who is leading has the decision of doing what he wants, and he is defined. He is defined by the music and by what he knows. Of course, if he doesn't get to know Lambazouk, he will never be able to dance Lambazouk even if the music is perfect for it. But for me, the most important is that people get to know a bit of every style. Then they can choose. Oh, Lambazouk is not very much my thing because I am more romantic, experimental, and I like more this, that, or I like creating and I'm this and that. But at least they know a bit, so they can play with it a little bit if they get the chance. If the lady, for example, is very beginner and is only Lambazouk so for me, the more the student knows, they should be able to learn a bit of everything. But it doesn't mean that it's mixed, and it doesn't mean that the origin and the most extreme disappear. Because if you learn the differences and you know what is this, what is that, you mix because you decide to mix, but you are still conscious of what you're doing. And I think this is the key of the so no for ignorance.
Okay, so we're in the moment of each episode that I hate, where I tell you we are running out of time. Nymph, do you have any extra question?
Uh, no.
Okay, so I think that it's a good closing argument from Olaya. Like we should dance together and we should learn from each other and we should still preserve the roots, but don't be so radical in your opinions or trying to be this image of pureness in one dance, even in the social uh, floor. So and I have also story with Olaya that I would like to tell people because
I'm afraid.
you should dance together, guys. So uh, we don't dance so often. We
No.
because we are always so busy with all the students and when we are stopping, we need to rest. You know, so but we dance from time to time. And there was this time where we danced together, and it was like a great dance. Even some of your students started clapping after the dance. And you said one sentence that got stuck in my mind because it was so funny. And I will say in Spanish, and I will try to translate later. You say like, "Qué bien bailamos, coño." It's like, wow, we dance so good, fuck, or something like that in English. So that for me, it's the essence of why I dance, of why I enjoy the parties. To have the most amazing dance with a dancer that it's not even my style, is not a dancer that I used to dance with, but this dance I enjoy it a lot. She seems that she enjoyed it a lot, and that's the whole purpose of dancing, right?
And this is what the students should aim for, not to go with a flag, but to actually learn to dance to enjoy themselves. That's why we do it.
Nice. Okay, so Olaya, thank you very much for being here, and I see you in a few days in some of our parties.
Thank you for having me.
Nils, thank
Yes.
you also to you for being here. And I don't know if we have a guest for next week. Do we?
Um, no,
Not still, right?
no, not yet.
So all the people that we wrote on Facebook, please answer because we need a guest for for next week. Okay, no, I don't want to forget to do this shameless plug here. Like we are organizing the summer weekend on July from 21st to 25th, and all Olaya students are gonna be there, and I hope that they will be dancing on one of the shows. And also, we have this URL here under my name. It says patreon.com/ZoukCast, where you can give a little bit of money to help us to improve our equipment or to pay for a podcast account where we can have better quality of audio and everything. And that's all for today. Thank you again for being here, Olaya. Thank you, Nymph. And I hope to see everybody again on next week episode. I don't know who we will have, but it's going to be interesting anyway. Okay,
All
that's
right.
all for today. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.